I thought about that. I said, I'm standing in a room that has just taken me back in time. I'm an old man, lived a long time, but I love trains.
You've heard of the Great Smoky Mountains. You've heard of the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. But have you visited the Great Smoky Mountains Railroad? Well, you will today, because that's what's up next on Joyful Trails. I'm back at my dad's condo, reminiscing about a trip that he and I took not long ago on the Great Smoky Mountains Railroad, and also a railroad museum that has got to be one of a kind. Stick around to see what we saw and experience what we experienced on our trip to Bryson City. Well, here we are again at my dad's condo, here to talk about our trip to the Great Smoky Mountain Railroad in Bryson City, North Carolina, which is not too far from Cherokee. Population 1,558. And it sits on 2.2 square miles. Once an important local rail hub, today Bryson City serves as a popular tourist destination with lots of camping and rafting nearby, and of course, the Great Smoky Mountains Railroad. It was originally known as Charleston.
Charleston?
Yes, that was the original name of Bryson City. The townspeople adopted the name Bryson City in 1889 to avoid being confused with Charleston, South Carolina.
Interesting.
That was probably a good move, I would say.
I think very good.
The town is named after lawyer, politician, and Confederate soldier Colonel Thaddeus Dillard Bryson. So the Western North Carolina Railroad laid tracks through Bryson City in 1884. The Great Smoky Mountains National Park was established in 1933 during the Great Depression.
Yeah.
And generates considerable revenue for Bryson City. The increasing popularity of automobiles led to a decline in railroad transportation, and the railroad dropped passenger service in 1948. After freight traffic also ended in 1985, the state of North Carolina purchased the tracks, and in 1988 the state established the Great Smoky Mountains Railroad with its depot and departure point in Bryson City. And by the way, a famous Southern gospel quartet known as the Inspirations, they are from Bryson City.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that's big time.
Used to see them on the gospel singing Jubilee.
Oh, that was big time.
On
I really, they did. They excelled. They were one of my favorites.
Yeah. So before we got on the train, we had a few minutes to kill, and we thought, well, we'll just go over here and check out this little museum, this Smoky Mountain Railroad Museum.
Did we ever identify it as little? Wow,
I mean,
we really blew that one.
They don't have the best name. I think it's called Smoky Mountain Railroad Museum and Gift Shop. So you don't know,
no.
Before you go in, you don't know what you're in store for. But
boy.
So we go in, and it's included as part of the admission. Like when you buy a ticket to ride the train, you also get to go into the gift shop and museum free of charge. Otherwise, it's like $9 a person. But so we got to go in free, and we went in, and it was like, oh my gosh, look at this place. What were your impressions?
Well, when I was a boy, my hobby, when I was like maybe 8, 9, 10 years old, my hobby was developing a scenic railroad in the basement of our home. And because we had long winters, and I spent many hours in the basement of our home, and developed this with all the mountains and the hills and things that the train could do, and the whistles and the the flashing lights and the stuff like that. And I really like making the little trees and things like that. Oh, when I saw this museum, it just blew my mind. It was just beyond anything I could ever imagine. If anybody goes within shouting distance of that city, they need to go and visit that. It is phenomenal.
Whether you ride the train or not.
Absolutely. It's worth the trip just to see the museum. And all the buttons, you just push the button and on the side there, and suddenly it just lights up and energizes a whole section of the museum.
Yeah, they use, on their website, they use the tagline, "Feel like a kid again."
Absolutely.
At the Smoky Mountain Train Museum.
Oh.
They say there's a collection, and now it's not only the demo area that you talked about, the demonstration area, but also they have all kinds of train cars and engines on display, and other artifacts and different novelty items. But they have over 7,000 Lionel engines, cars, and accessories on display.
Well, I was going to say hundreds. I didn't realize there was that many, but they were just
Somebody counted.
everywhere.
Somebody did the counting, and they came up with over 7,000.
Most all of them were antiques of one sort or another. And I thought about that. I said, I'm standing in a room that has just taken me back in time.
Coming up in just a second, we're going to take you along on the actual train ride from Bryson City to Dillsboro along the Tuckasegee River. So stick around for that. But first, I remember when we were kids, Santa Claus brought us a train set, an electric Lionel train set, and the engine actually would light up. It was an electric train, and it was a figure-8 track, and I can remember turning the lights off and just watching that train come around the track because you could see it lit up in the dark.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to ask you, is there any truth to the rumor that maybe Santa Claus actually brought that for himself and just gave it to us?
That will always be a family secret. Because
did Santa Claus buy himself a train?
I was very close in relationship and friendship with Santa Claus, and we kind of had a bond going.
Right.
And I don't really like to talk about things that would expose him or reveal him in any way that he would not prefer to be revealed or talked about. And I did enjoy that train, and the fact that it was a figure-8, I loved to watch it kind of bounce over that middle section.
So let's get on board the train in Bryson City and head to Dillsboro. What do you say?
Let's go.
Come on, boys, we'll see where this road gives up. Blacktop and gasoline, it won't be enough. But I keep shifting into neutral while the river's racing by. Yeah, I'm sitting in the chamber, locked and loaded, let me fly. You won't forget the quakes, they get in your bones. And I've seen the flames taking cities whole. And all my kings and queens and aces now discarded to the fire. Every dollar, every boardwalk, every ticket on the line. Take all these tokens, I don't need them now. Lay every trophy down in
there you go. So what are some of your reflections, and as you think back on that trip from Bryson City to Dillsboro, what kind of stood out to you as you recall that train ride?
The ice cream shop.
In Dillsboro. So let's just go ahead and talk about Dillsboro, okay?
It's small.
It is. Dillsboro has a population of 213 people, and it sits on 0.48 square miles, so less than half a square mile. So what eventually became Dillsboro was founded when the Murphy Branch Railroad came to the area in the 1800s. And in 1882, the first post office opened. The unincorporated village was called Depot, I guess for obvious reasons, then Webster, then Webster Station, until the state of North Carolina officially changed the name to Dillsboro in 1889 to honor William Allen Dills, the town's founder and postmaster. But now there is some controversy because some people say that Dillsboro is named after George W. Dill, an early settler. So we may never know for sure.
And it really doesn't matter.
No,
No.
not really.
No.
Once a thriving town in the late 1800s and early 1900s, it would seem today that Dillsboro's main claim to fame is that it attracts and caters to tourists traveling on the Great Smoky Mountains Railroad.
That was us.
That was us.
Yeah, we were there.
Yeah, so you decided that we needed to get some ice cream. See, what Dillsboro was a layover. It was kind of like, it's almost like being on a cruise ship, you know, where you pull into port and you go on excursions.
Yeah, right.
Well, on these train trips, they always have excursions too, but they're just much shorter, you know.
Right.
Usually it's a half hour, 45-minute layover someplace where there's something interesting. In this case, it was the town of Dillsboro. Yeah. I walked all over town, shot video, took pictures.
Yeah.
You enjoyed your ice cream, but then you just kind of sat down and found some people to talk to.
Well, I find that easy to do. Yeah, I don't know. People are different and interesting to me, and I do have a weakness. I have a weakness, and it's talking to people that I don't know. But on this particular occasion, not only did I enjoy meeting new people, but I enjoyed the ice cream, and it was really good. And it was for all of us who were on the train, but this was the hot spot. I just got me a double dip and ate it all right there. Very good. Really good. I highly recommend it.
In the 1970s, Mayor Wade W. Wilson, how about that? His initials were WWW. Wade W. Wilson led a successful effort to restore many older buildings in the town to their original appearance, and now they serve as shops in which tourists can blow their hard-earned money. I mean, can buy things.
Yeah.
Also near Dillsboro, there is a train wreck that was set up to be part of a movie called The Fugitive.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever saw that movie.
I didn't either.
And as we were going by, I was in the wrong place at the wrong time to get footage, and so I didn't get footage of it either. But
it went by fast.
Yeah, if you're a movie buff, just know that you can go there. The busted up train set is still there.
Yep.
That as it appeared in the movie. It was a nice train car that we were in.
Yeah, very nice. Not the best, but it was nice.
Not the best, he says. Okay. All right. Well, stick around for my dad's star rating coming up at the end of the video. That's always fun, and I don't know what he's going to say, so we'll find out together. The Smokies are definitely RV country. And as someone who has owned several RVs and has traveled a lot in RVs, I'm just curious, what would you say, what's your favorite thing and least favorite thing about RV life?
My favorite thing was arriving, and my least favorite was leaving.
Okay.
Yeah. you never knew what you were going to find, because we would do all the reservations without seeing the place we were going to stay at. It was all new, and just said, and we would just pull in and start looking around and see, what is this one like?
I thought for sure that you would say your least favorite aspect was emptying the bathroom part.
Well,
I will never forget. I can still almost smell that smell just from memory.
well, I have a couple of memories like that myself, but I have deliberately tried to just erase them from my memory.
Blocked it out.
Block it out.
We stayed and took another ride the next day, and we'll talk about that on a future episode
Total different.
of Joyful Trails, or in this case, Joyful Trains, I guess we should say. But for this particular trip, up the Tuckasegee River to Dillsboro with a box lunch and a visit to the train museum, how would you classify this one? What would be? I'm gonna allow you to assign the star rating for this particular train ride. What do you think? What's your overall impression of that particular train ride?
Well, there were some things about that made it unusual, and personally, I enjoyed that train trip. I really enjoyed that one, and so what is it we do, son? What is it that
I don't know, but we don't do that. Whatever you do.
we don't do this. We usually. What is it?
Well, I don't know. It's just an involuntary thing that happens. I don't think about it.
I don't think.
4 stars. Is that it?
That's it.
Oh, that was what you were going to say?
That's it. 4 stars. Yes.
All right. Yeah. You just stick your arm and point that way.
Just 4 stars.
Okay. You know, and so I would say, how about this? How about we say 4 stars for the train trip and 5 stars for the train museum?
I would agree. I'm still flabbergasted, or whatever the expression should be, amazed at the museum.
I'll tell you what, next time we'll talk about the train ride that was the Nantahala trip. This was the Tuckasegee. That's the Nantahala.
Yeah.
And if you say them real fast in combination, Tuckasegee, Nantahala, Nantahala, Tuckasegee.
Well, 2 things. You could choke. That's the danger. You could choke. The other is you would sound like an Indian.
I think that's where those words came from. I'm pretty sure.
American Indian.
Nantahala, Tuckasegee.
That's it, boy.
See you next time on Joyful Trails, or Trains, or whatever it is.
Look what I found. Here's the name right there. That's a Bachman train.